Okay, feet on the earth, hearts in the moment. Let's begin. Can't see you over the microphone, but
Oh,
I know you're there. It's okay. It's okay.
there. I can see you better now.
All right. So, how are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
I mean, it's been a little bit of a
We've got some stuff.
rough week, but
Yeah.
it started with Tuesday. I was supposed to watch my older nephew. Well, the younger one went to a thing with his mom. So I get over there and they're borrowing my car. So, I go up and I'm hanging out with the older one and they're getting, the little one into the vehicle. And then my back passenger door just decided it wasn't going to close anymore. Like there's like a latch that when you close it, it like goes around that like metal piece.
Yeah.
And that latch was like stuck. It was stuck, like closed.
Yeah.
So it just bounced off. And so I was fucking around with it, trying to figure it out. Cause at that point, then I'm like, I can't even leave. Like, so I was fucking around with it. And like the boys actually, cause they were with us, they like jumped in the back seat and were fucking around. And I accidentally set off the alarm,
Yeah.
which scared the crap out of them.
Yeah.
And then I went back to go fix it, like to go work on it again. And it's fine. It was like back to normal. I don't know what happened and it's working fine now, but it just like had a moment.
I think that happened to us with one of our vans with the sliding door. Like for some reason it just was not working.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was working. And it's
Mhm.
like, oh, yeah.
It's weird.
It's a lot of that stuff is because it's all electric. There's not a whole lot you can do other than take it.
And then, the air conditioner, we realized it went out, what is today? Thursday. So Meg noticed it on Tuesday. And so we had someone come out yesterday and our 20-year-old unit, they're like, you need a lot of parts for this. Like it's going to be $900 to get it like completely back up and running.
Right.
And we suggest it's probably best to get a new one. We're like, yeah, that makes sense. So we asked for a quote and then we got the quote back and John went to schedule and they're like, well, we can't get out there until after the 4th of July. And I'm like,
It ain't working.
yeah, like we have another student starting next week.
We can't be without.
Yeah, it's supposed to be super hot next week
Yeah.
too. Like yesterday we didn't have the air conditioner, but we were just in the classroom. So like I never needed to, but like if I needed to, I could have pulled out the fan, but
Yeah, we've had a mild couple of days as far as like the little cooler.
yeah.
So it hasn't been
But like
horrible,
next week it's supposed to be like 90.
Yeah.
We're supposed to get like I'll be having I have students working on dogs. So I'm like yep. So then John talked to them and found out that we could just have it temporarily fixed.
Right. To limp you through a week.
To limp us through until they can replace it.
Yeah.
And then the money that we spent to limp us through comes off of the total.
Yep.
So we're like, well, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know.
They want you to commit to the buy before they offer the little solutions.
I guess so, but yeah, I don't know if he didn't explain that to me yesterday or if I just didn't understand. But yeah, now at least that's getting done, but it's going to be, the new one's going to be $7,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but also looked it up, 15 years is pretty good.
Yeah.
And we made it 20.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And you can claim part of that on your taxes.
Yeah. And we're going to ask them, our one for upstairs, it works, but it is also old as well. It's definitely older than that one.
Maybe have them check and see.
Well, we're going to have them we're asking them for a quote to replace both. Like maybe we can just get them both done and it will be a little cheaper kind of thing. Cause yeah, they're like, and the other one, it's the little one because it is the smallest air conditioning unit I have ever, and even they were like, I've never seen one this small.
Yeah.
Because it's just a little itty bitty thing out there.
Yeah.
But they're like, yeah, that one's even older. We don't even know what model we can't even look up how old it is. So yeah, we're hoping we can just like make it a package deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, the guys were really nice.
Good.
they were very like respectful. And like he did explain things to me when I asked him questions, but we just, for whatever reason, it didn't.
Some of that
You
stuff,
know.
if I don't really understand it, it just goes over my head anyways. So
Yeah,
and
and so
I'll
like
ask all the right questions, but then I don't even know if I got the answers because
it doesn't always make sense.
right, because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Right?
it's kind of like how we kind of speak a different language
Right.
than our clients.
Right,
So,
exactly.
but yeah, but they were really nice. Like I was asking them questions and they were answering it and like thoroughly, so I could understand it well.
Yeah.
But it just whatever happened, miscommunication. But we figured that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was.
Well, I'm having a good week. My
Yeah.
kids are here, so the grandkids
Yeah.
are here. So although they came in, we picked them up from the airport Saturday morning, and excuse me, and my daughter and son-in-law they take a nap, right? Like Sam was home, he fed them all breakfast, and then they went laid down, and so we just were entertaining the older two, and I had to groom, so of course they were down in the room, and a couple of my cats are kind of spicy, but they were good, and Sam helped, so all was well, and they were asking a lot of questions about grooming and a lot of good questions, and then I asked which one of them was going to groom, and Taryn wants to groom bunnies because bunnies are her favorite. I'm like, oh, I groom a bunny.
Yeah.
And then they were going through my pictures, and she seen the bunny, was all excited about the bunny. So, yeah, so it was cute. So they were visiting, and then they went. So that was Saturday, and then Sunday. We had them all day, So then the kids got up, and then they put the older two, in the room for watch a movie, and of course they fell asleep. But, the oldest got up, but the middle one, she stayed sleeping. And at 9:00 at night, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Good luck. So I don't know. I actually slept pretty decent that night. So I grew up at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
We had to pick them up.
And you had to chase around little kids for.
Had to chase around little kids, which they stayed in. They stayed in their jammy. They were in their jammies. I mean, it was just really kind of chill day. And then Sunday morning,
Might have been a chill day, but it's still
exhausting. And then Sunday morning, I got up and I had to run around and do some nail trims, house call nail trims. Came home and I groomed a dog. And a family member, they have four doxies. And so I do nails. So I did nails on 3 of them. And then the 4th one stayed for a full groom. And so that was kind of cool. And so the kids got to see them. And then they left. They went to Door County with his family. So they were in Door County till yesterday. They got home yesterday early evening. And yeah, they walk in the house and the oldest is carrying the baby.
Mm-hmm.
I said, do you want to keep her? I'm going to take her. You can take her. So I took the baby, had her for all of, 10 minutes. And then the oldest is like, will you take me to the store and buy Takis and hot Cheetos? And I'm like, of course I will. So I hand off the baby, find out what the middle one wants. She wants cheese puffs and Pringles. So I'm like, well, we're going to go to the grocery store. I'm not going to just go to a convenience store. So we went to the grocery store and they didn't have Takis. Piggly Wiggly. They didn't have Takis. So we end up going to the open pantry. So on the way home, we stopped at the open pantry. They had one kind of Taki, and it was this hot one that she didn't like. So I don't know. I don't think I've ever had a Taki. So I don't know. She didn't like that kind. So I thought, all right, well, there's one more gas station. She was bummed, but she was, pretty, we bought ice cream too. We had a few things. So I thought, well, there's one more grocery store or one more gas station before we, are home, and we can go there. So I was going to go to Fine Fair Foods. Oh my gosh, there must have been 20 cars. The pumps were full.
Oh, wow.
The whole thing was lined up because there's also a laundromat, a little sub sandwich place. So I mean, it was just routed. And I'm like, wow, this place is busy. And she's like, we don't get this stuff. Oh, okay. So I was like, ooh. But when we were at the open pantry, it's funny because I thought, well, we didn't get anything, but I'll grab a lottery ticket. Every now and then I'll grab a lottery ticket. And I go to get a lottery ticket, and the machine went, whoop, and went out. And then it came back on right away, but it had to go through a whole thing. And he's like, I don't know what happened. I said, well, maybe it's the weather. I said, they just gave a tornado warning on the radio for Southeast Wisconsin. So I didn't get my lottery either. Probably the winning ticket.
Yeah.
The universe was
the universe was just like, nope.
Not you, not you,
I
not you.
think right now I would look at the quarterfinal
Alexa, stop.
to get to the quarterfinal. I'm not going to say it's straightforward because
Alexa, stop. What the fuck is going on today?
But anyway, so the kids are visiting. We're having a big cookout Saturday, inviting my brothers are coming with their families. Yeah, so we got to go grocery shopping this afternoon and spend a fortune on food, I'm sure. But
Yeah,
they're here for another, I mean, they're here till after the 4.
that's awesome.
So it's going to be a nice long visit.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that'll be good.
yeah. You'll be having fun with your kids, and I'll be hiding away from the world for the next week.
Right.
Fucking fireworks.
Well, my dog hates them. He freaks out.
So,
Cats are kind of hit and miss.
Yeah, like it's not necessarily the fireworks themselves. It's like, and I don't have a problem. Like I've gone to fireworks shows,
right,
but I don't love going to them because they're still loud. But like, it's a different thing when I'm there. I've chosen to be there. I can choose what what kind of thing, and I go to it.
Yeah.
And I know what's coming.
Yeah.
But when I am home and I'm suddenly surprised by like fireworks out of nowhere,
and
it goes all fucking day.
Some of these big booms are like, that's like, I mean, the house shakes. My windows shake. Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. And we've talked about this before. Like, I get it. Mid-June, mid-July, it's going to happen. And, I don't like it because, same reason, right? Like, it's like, I don't know what's coming. All of a sudden you're just watching TV and all of a sudden, boom. And it's like, no warning. But I get it. That's this time of year. So as annoying as it is, it's the time of year. We suck it up. And I'm not a bitcher about it. I'll bitch about it, but I'm not calling the authorities or anything like that.
Yeah,
But I see people talking about it online, and then people are like, "You're just gonna have to get used to it." And it's like, dude, it's March. We're nowhere near a holiday that someone should be lighting off fireworks. I mean, there's gotta be a
they're not
gotta all be able to get.
They're not legal in the fucking city limits.
Right, but they don't enforce it.
I know.
They don't enforce it. And it's what's really disgusting is it's not even so much you don't enforce it, but that people are so rude.
Hi, Meg.
But anyways, but see, no, I don't know what they'll probably go to the fireworks down by the beach because they do a whole thing with his family on the 4th of July. Although they've missed the parade the last couple of years. They kind of sleep through it, which, that's up to you.
Yeah.
It's a lot to get up and get 3 kids going. So they don't worry about it. But they'll go then and they do their cookouts and then they go to the fireworks down at the beach and then everything. Yeah. I sit on my porch because I've got it on all 4 sides.
Yeah.
People and like really like impressive fireworks. So I'll just sit out on the porch if I want to watch them. But my dog, I gotta
put my headphones on. And
I think I'm gonna actually bring her kennel up.
Yeah.
And see if that helps her. Because maybe she'll just get in the kennel. Like maybe she'll feel more sick. Because I don't know. I don't really understand. Of course, I don't speak dog. I try to speak dog, but I just don't. I think I'm right here. Like why aren't you? But she'll like run away from us.
Yeah.
Like when they start booming, she'll run to another room. And then, and we'll call her and she'll come back, but then she's shaking. But it's like, I don't understand why she runs up. She feels protected with us. We're her back.
I mean, if you think about it, they're probably kind of going into fight or flight when
Maybe.
She fights.
Yeah, flights. So I'm gonna bring up her kennel and just make it nice for her so she can go in it. She'll have to share it with Penguin because he will not be in it. He was in it the whole time. I brought it up for Sebaceous and he was in it the whole damn time. I think she was in it once. I had to pull him out
so that she
put her in it. Or I think she was in it a couple times, but like at least she was out most.
Yeah. Now my biggest thing is like if it was just in the evening.
Right. If
it was going to be just like, from 9 to 11 or whatever,
right.
It's going to be, if they could just be like, okay, for this time on these days, you go and you can go nuts. That's fine.
I agree. That's all I feel like.
For
like,
me,
can we
it's
just
like,
have, like not a curfew per se, but it's just something that so that the rest of the world that doesn't like them can be at peace. I feel that way about like just the noisemakers in the neighborhood, lawn mowers, the leaf blowers, the edgers, the snow blowers in the winter. It's like there's just always noise. And then I got the kid a couple houses down that's got one of those little motorized motorcycle bikes, and he's little. And he rides that thing, and he's in and out of the driveways, and they think they're living in the country.
Yeah.
And all I'm thinking is, I hope that kid never gets hit by a car.
Yeah.
Because he does not pay attention. And apparently his dad is fine with it. His dad has instilled in him that go do what you want to do, because he's just in and out. And I'm just thinking, I hope he never gets like seriously hurt. Because
we have a guy
devastating. But it's like, at the same time, it's like, could you please, maybe take him somewhere else and let him ride like that.
We have a guy that goes up and down the sidewalk on this he's a full grown adult, goes up and down the sidewalk on this little mini dirt bike thing.
Yeah.
And he'll come from the north, and there's a tree.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't see.
And so like you don't see him until you're about to hit him.
Yeah.
Because he comes blasting through that tree, and you don't see him until he's on the other side,
Right. And if you hit him, I mean, other than the fact that you're going to be emotionally scarred, if I hit a person, I'm going to be emotional. If I hit anything, animal, vegetable, I'm going to be emotionally scarred. But you'll be at fault too. Even though he's clearly in the wrong, you'll be the one that'll have to, it'll be your fault. So we watched some of the World Cup games, and they were showing some of these other countries that clean. I think Japan's starting to. Yeah. And, it's like, people cleaning up after themselves.
Bye.
So anyways. Yeah. What? Girl, you're here now. What's up? When did you guys do the AC? Because this was unplugged. So I just want to make sure it got charging time.
Last night.
So it was like night. So it was on the charger for at least a couple hours.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thanks. Bye.
See ya.
All right. Should we get going?
Yeah.
All right. So we're doing books. Yes, this is our books episode. So pretty excited about this one. I want to do this one since last year. It was one that I wanted to make sure we added this year. So I'm going to just go through some of these questions real quick. What are you currently reading?
Sorry.
Are you reading any?
I mean, nothing necessarily grooming or witchy related right now. I've been reading some business books, because a lot of marketing stuff, because I'll be starting to market my first Korean seminar. So I guess it's kind of
it's work related.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been reading a couple. I mostly listen on audiobooks. Yeah. So I've been listening to a few different marketing books for that. And then I've been also translating and then reading I got called the Mind Program, and it's there's this hospital in Korea, and they have like a section called the Min Yoongi Foundation, and he's Suga from BTS. That's how I found out about it. But he started working with them they made this program for autistic kids to learn with music therapy.
Nice.
And so it's called the Mind Program. And so they released their book, their manual, basically, on how they run the whole thing, but it's only in Korean. So I got it while I was in Korea, and I have been painstakingly going through, and I translate, and then I write a bunch of fucking notes. And so
okay,
it's a project.
But that's still cool.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of between books. I actually I have a lot of books that like I want to read. If you like books, that's usually
it's all behind you.
I got 1,000 books and I've only read 2, right? So, but I'm going to get to the rest of them. So I was actually going through them yesterday or 2 days ago when I was making my list for this podcast. I was kind of looking at it. I was like, I should start reading the book. So I pulled one out and I kind of started reading. Like, nah, not really. Nah, not this time. I'll put that away. And I pulled out another one and I said, no, I'm not feeling this one. So I'm like, I don't know. I want to read. Like, I want to read a book because I want to read a book. I was in a book club.
Yeah.
I'm still in it, right? I can go show up anytime. But I missed quite a few of the meetings. They meet once a month. I didn't really care for the books they picked.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of waiting. They have the new book, which we're kind of voting on a new book, and I don't know, none of them are really like.
Really.
I wasn't like excited about any of them.
Yeah.
Really, like none. I read them and I read the things, and I was like, so I'm gonna wait and see which one they grab, and if I can get it at the library, maybe I'll read it and try to get back into that. But I'm not buying. I was buying the books all the time. I was buying them used still, but it was still like $10, or just under $10 all the time. And it's like, and then I wasn't even reading the books because I was like, I've already seen the movie. Unless I don't want to read the book after I've seen the movie. And then the one I ordered that I was actually looking forward to reading, and it ended up coming, and it was in Romania. Yeah, and I'm not painstakingly gonna translate that. So I ended up not reading that book, which it didn't matter as much because I wasn't going to be at that meeting because I think we were at one of the shows. So I wouldn't have been able to make it to that meeting anyways, but I was actually looking forward to that book. So anyways, not reading anything right now. So are you a physical book, Kindle, or audio person?
More audio.
Okay. I'm a little bit of all.
Yeah.
It just depends.
The biggest thing with actually physically reading books is that it actually makes me sitting still for that long, I end up falling asleep.
Yeah.
So that's why I like to do audiobook, because then I can listen to it while I do something with my hands to keep me kind of going.
Yeah. I'll do all three. Yeah. I've done all three. What's this? I was looking forward to this one. What's the weirdest or most unexpected thing you've learned from a book?
I assume you have something.
You may fascinate a woman by giving her a piece of cheese. That is from
It's not wrong.
That is from the Complete Book of Magic and Witchcraft by Catherine Paulson. And it goes around on Facebook from time to time. Someone will put the quote out there. And so it's a joke in my house. So whenever my husband will he'll buy cheese, he'll go and get himself some cheese, and he'll always hand me a piece of cheese, and I'll just say, "Oh, I'm fascinated." Or he'll say, "Do you want to be fascinated? Or do you want some cheese?" And I'm like, "Yes, please fascinate me." So that's kind of a joke in our house.
That's awesome.
But so I thought that was kind of cool. Like, I got something that fits for that question.
Yeah.
Do you read for comfort or educational? Which do you prefer?
I go back and forth.
Me too.
So usually if it's for comfort, I'm reading is it fiction that's not real? I always get confused.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fiction is not real.
Yeah.
Non-fiction.
That's
real.
Yeah. When I'm just comfort, it's usually fiction, usually sci-fi kind of stuff. But then I read a lot for education.
Yeah.
I mean, grooming, but then also I read a lot of neurodivergent stuff. And yeah.
I feel like when I joined the program that I'm in and I started reading the books there, that was kind of like a turning point for me, where almost everything I was reading was, it was either that kind of that category or self-helpy kind of categories. And then I started getting into, and then of course there's the grooming stuff. I would read, manuals or whatever you want to call them, behavior, stuff like that for work. I just didn't read anything for just for fun. It had been years that I hadn't read anything for fun. And then I finally kind of picked up some books and actually started reading and thought, I need to do this more often. I just need to have a book that I can just read. And I've listened to a lot more too. Grooming books that looked terrifying at first.
All of them.
Yeah. I don't know that any of them really looked terrifying. I mean, I remember seeing books and thinking that like if it was a book about, let's say, hand stripping or something.
Does this one count as terrifying?
Okay. Yeah. That it's something like that. And and that's a good
for anybody not watching this is a book that's all model dog grooming in Korea.
Yeah. Yeah. So that would be Asian fusion. I've had some Asian fusion books that I guess are pretty terrifying, or creative books.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that would fit in there. Any witchy books that changed your perspective?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing stands out for me.
Nothing really stands out for me. Most of the witchy stuff that really stands out is usually stuff on podcasts.
Yeah.
Because I've listened to a lot of witchy
podcasts. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I mean, I think most of them they usually talk about like you don't have to follow all the rules.
Yes, which I always, I appreciate that.
And so, not a specific book, but I do appreciate that almost everyone does have that.
This did not give me the,
Mini phase.
so I have to look it up real quick. This one, when is this one here? It's not on the page. June. Hold on. I think it's, sorry, class. We're a little discombobulated today. Let me just double check when this one airs so I give you the right new reading. July 16th.
Okay.
So let me look up July 16th. All right, it's a waxing crescent. Let's see. Our forecast has to say. This is a day of double meaning. Good and bad at the same time. Day when we have to make a choice between good and evil. Right. You heard it here first.
All right.
Make the right choice.
Make the right choice. You better pick the right book.
Yeah, right. No kidding. Education, comfort. Okay, so what about books today that inspire us professionally, first, personally, spiritually, and creatively, from grooming and business to animal behavior and witchcraft. No gatekeeping. Different books resonate with different people, and learning never stops in grooming or in witchcraft. So our tarot pull, I already pulled it. It is the Seven of Pentacles, and let's see. This is about growing something to see what it flourishes into. From a grooming perspective, it's patience, slow progress, and cold rehab.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to talk first about grooming books.
Yep.
So if you had to recommend one technical book.
One technical book. Say Theory of 5.
Okay. I have notes written down, some notes from the grooming table.
Yeah, that would be another. I'm back and forth on that.
Theory is the companion. Actually,
Yeah.
If you could only pick one, I think Theory of 5 is probably the best.
Yeah.
Better one.
So
if anybody doesn't know what that book is, so both Notes from the Grooming Table and the Theory of 5 were written by Melissa
Verplank,
who
owns Paragon.
Owns Paragon School, grooming school. They're so the Notes book is right now it's kind of like a double volume.
Yeah.
They redid it as they added more breeds, but it's got kind of the basics of everything, right? Bathing, drying, coat types, tools,
patterns for,
and then it goes into patterns for each breed, and it's based on the AKC. So always the AKC dog book is always a good, a groomer should have that. If you don't know how to read an AKC standard, you should learn. And they're not easy to read, but there's actually seminars that will help kind of teach you how to read.
We teach it here.
It here. Yeah, so that you can learn how to read those standards. But in Notes, it gives you like a drawing. The pictures were done by Lisa Van Sweden.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful pictures. I mean, I love it for that, Yeah. So they draw, where the patterns are going to go, and they kind of explain how to run the clippers and what blades to use for pets and stuff. So it's a really, really good book. So I would recommend that or something similar. I know Murphy. Jody Murphy has one also. Hers is in color, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it's similar as far as it shows the patterns and where to trim and stuff like that.
I think so. One of the things with the
theory.
Notes. Yeah. Is in the first volume, like the illustrations were really good, but a lot of people misread them.
Yeah.
Because of just the way they were. It was a lot of people misread them. And I really think that's why we ended up with some of the weird ass fucking like skirts.
Maybe.
What's
funny is that I don't think I misread it. But
I didn't misread it.
But I also had the foundation ahead of time.
Yeah.
So maybe that's.
But I saw a lot of. I've seen a lot of people who
in students. I worked at Paragon, so
yeah.
I did see that too, where people where students left, and I never really even given it much thought that might be why that they were misreading it. But
the second version, they improved on it a lot, and so it's much better.
Yeah.
And I don't see that as much, like that complaints as much, but yeah, like that. I know that first version, like I didn't have a problem reading it. I understood it. And I think a lot of people did, but then there was a lot of people who just, it didn't click the way it did for everybody else. And so, yeah, there was a lot of like the hula skirts on like the terriers. Yeah.
So then the companion theory of 5 breaks down the sections of the dogs.
Yeah.
The headpiece, the tails, the feet.
Yeah.
So it did in 5. There's 5.
Yeah.
There's 5 ears, tail, feet.
I don't remember off the top.
Anyways, but it breaks each section down. It kind of,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that would be a
And
good
shows like a bunch of different
yeah.
versions.
And that would be so. Theory of 5, when I think about, would help with a lot of mixed breeds, because it really gives you that perspective of these little dogs that are combination coats, and some have ears that stand up and flop down, one of each, and just kind of what do I do with these?
Yeah.
So any breed specific reference books you would recommend? Got one. I would, like I said, I didn't bring any because I thought I'll just read them out loud, and then.
So I always like
book, right?
the complete dog book that has all of the breeds, but then I also have the school one.
Well, let's see. That would be the one I listed. Food, Cooking, and Grooming by Shirley Cowstone.
Yep.
Exact same book.
Yeah. I know some of it is a little outdated still.
But it's still relevant.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean,
apparently have
what do you have a drawing in there?
I have a drawing, but I also apparently have the breed standard for the Mickey.
Wow. Wow. Maybe that was before it became actual breed.
Yeah.
Is it a breed? Is it a
I don't think it is yet.
breed?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
but yeah, I really like this. Like, it breaks down a lot of the different haircuts, and it has a lot of the like more like retro cuts too, which I like.
Yeah.
I like the retro cuts when they're done right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yep. That's the one I had too. Cat grooming resources.
This I don't have this much.
So for me, I tend to go back to, I have, let's see, it's the Learn How to Professionally Groom Cats that was put out by PCGAA. It's written by Kim Reisman, which I don't think you can get anymore, but I still have mine. And then also the Cat Grooming Encyclopedia by Danielle German. So both of those, which that one too, I don't know if she sells that one separate anymore. It's just part of her syllabus. So both of those books I find good.
Yeah. I know we have one by Dana Chavez Ray too.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
So yeah, that's Meow Wow. Meow Wow by Dana Chavez Ray. Yes, I had that one. That was also excellent. And then Mercedes Schenck came out with one last year, and it's the Cat Method, Holistic Cat Grooming. I really like that one. In fact, my husband's reading it now. So
really,
because there's a lot of stuff right in the beginning that's more about, like, it's more geared towards the groomer.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated that, because I was like, wow, I feel so much of this shit. And it's nice to see someone putting it in a book, because clearly she's had to deal with it too. Some of that mental stuff and emotional stuff that we go through.
Yeah.
Groomers in general, it's not just a cat groomer thing. But yeah, so I really appreciate it, because I think for a lot of us, we just want to identify. Like, we feel so isolated, even when we're with a bunch of people, because we don't, the shit in our head. And I know myself, not so much anymore because of the program I went through, but I used to be terrified to like tell you what was in my head, because it sounded so crazy, and you're gonna think I'm crazy. You're gonna be like, stay away from her. And then I learned that, well, other people have these weird thoughts too. Sometimes, not everybody. Some of them you still have to keep it to yourself because people won't understand. But for the most part, you got to talk about that shit. It's if you don't talk about it, it makes you sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I appreciate that book. Handling and behavior books. Nathan Step. I had written down one from, I feel like, a million years ago. Like, I think I was grooming. We've been grooming a long time, but it was. It's called Pause to Consider, and it's by Brian Kilcommons and Sarah something. I can't remember what her last name was, but he's a trainer, and this particular book is like choosing the right breed for you. So it's not really, really in depth, but it does a really good job of breaking down like groups and what if you're a lazy person and you're not willing to go, walk once or twice a day, don't get this dog.
Yeah.
If you don't want to have to chase a dog, don't get this dog.
Yeah.
If you don't like dogs that bark and howl, don't get this dog. So it does a really good job of
That sounds
yeah.
like a really good book.
And I know they've come out with books.
Since
Everybody's got a book, but that was one that I liked. He's got other books too. He's a trainer, but that was one that I have that I really liked. It's kind of yeah, like I said, it's not really in depth, but it was still good.
yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of books. A lot of the people or a lot of the things that I learned for behavior nowadays is a lot of from different social media people like trainers because my mind has kind of changed a lot in how to view behavior, mostly because I'm trying to teach my students. And it's one thing, I just innately had a lot of I understood dogs very well innately, but trying to explain what I feel innately to someone who doesn't feel that innately.
Right.
I was looking for ways to explain that. And so I've ended up into the more I don't know what they call it. It's like gentle parenting for dogs.
Fear-free?
It's not fear-free.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
more just it's like you're actually listening to what the dog is telling you.
Yeah.
And you're working with it basically.
So love him or hate him, Cesar Millan has written a few books, and he's done, I think, a good job of, looking into dog behavior, and treating dogs how you should treat a dog.
Yeah.
And
I haven't seen anything from him in a very long.
Well, no, not recent. Sure.
The stuff that he came out with when he was popular, I very much liked it at the time, and I can still understand it.
I think
things have changed.
I think, and this is where critical thinking really, and I think as witches, I think we have that ability to look at stuff from different angles and maybe see the good and the bad. I think you always have to take what makes sense to you or what works and leave what doesn't.
Yeah.
The other thing I always try to remind people is every pet is different. Every dog is different. I don't care if it's the exact same breed from the exact same breeder and you're training it the exact same way. They are not all the same. And so you have to approach each pet, whether you're grooming it or whether you're, training it or just it's your pet, and you have to approach them all.
Well, yeah,
as individuals.
And I could see, I see with a lot of trainers that people just hate, like Cesar Millan. Watching him nowadays, I don't agree with a lot lot of what he did.
I think there
was also certain. I can also see that there are certain dogs that is the
best way to handle it. Right?
Because I would agree. He wasn't necessarily
I would absolutely.
he wasn't being abusive.
No,
he was just being.
No, he was being firm with a dog that maybe needed that firm hand.
Yeah, but but it doesn't work for everyone.
It doesn't work for everyone.
Being firm with a dog like Nibbler is not going to work well. Or even Addison. Addison is so sensitive that if you get too firm with her, she just freaks out.
Shuts down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. And I think that's what we always have to remember is that just because it worked here.
There was in Illinois where I was, there was a trainer there that he originally got his start training police dogs, and he became very popular in the area, but he was great with dogs.
That breed, right. That's the part.
Those ones that need to be much more firm with, and you have to be a little bit more dominant kind of.
Yes.
And
right.
He was right with those dogs.
Showing up with a Shih Tzu to that's not your trainer.
Yeah, that's not your trainer.
Right.
So,
and that's the other thing is that we have to realize that, and that's why I think generally we tend to be more open-minded and
kind of willing to see it.
Sometimes I'll be initially whoa, no, we don't do that. But then when I'm okay, let me back up. Let me take it the whole picture and let me go, okay, well, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, maybe that is okay. It's kind of like when, and please, no abuse. I don't condone anybody whacking a dog or shaking a dog or none of this garbage that we've seen, sadly. There are times when you need to be firm with an animal on your table or you'll never get your job done. And they will walk all over you.
Yeah.
There's a way to be firm with an animal
Without being
abusive. And I think that's the part that we need to do better.
Yeah.
We definitely need to. That needs to be something we're teaching in schools first. You know, the behavior and how to handle different things.
I just spent all day yesterday teaching my seedling
right, because you teach it, which is important, because I think sadly most other schools start with, you know, the bath. They start with the haircut. They start with the breed trims. And it's like those are the things you should learn after you've learned how to handle, how to read behavior, how to take care of your tools. You know, these are the things that if you're not going to learn that stuff, you know.
No, and I'm changing some things around now because I've seen how to use model dogs in the curriculum better.
Yeah.
Because I saw it in Korea.
Yeah.
So my seed program student she doesn't have any experience. I put scissors in her hands yesterday, so that she could start doing scissor exercises at home. Because next week we're going to start trimming the model dog because she can practice on a dog that stands still and learn how to hold the scissors, and she'll get a chance to play with the clippers and stuff too. She'll already have a lot of that muscle memory.
Yeah.
So then when it comes to working with a dog, she can concentrate more on actually like paying attention.
Yeah.
So
no, that's incredible.
I would like to add one more handling and behavior book for cats, and it's anything by Jackson Galaxy.
Yeah. I like Jackson Galaxy.
I love him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have all of his catification books.
So do
I fucking love those.
Yeah. Actually, I had two of them. We went and seen them. Jackie and I went and seen them a couple times.
I did too.
And
I bet we were probably at the same event.
Yeah, probably.
Did you go to one in Milwaukee?
I went to one in, I believe, Milwaukee. Yes, Milwaukee. And I think we went to one in Madison.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I went to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And I went to one in Chicago too.
Okay. Yeah, Milwaukee and Madison, I believe. But I got two of the same books and he signed them both.
Yeah.
So I actually ended up donating one to Hope Safe House for one of their raffles.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's a signed copy. Do you have any books on skin and coat that you would recommend?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't remember what it's called. Barbara Bird has one.
Her Sons to Sense?
Yes. Sons to Sense. Love that book.
Yeah. And
that
she revised it, I believe, just I think 2 years ago. So yeah.
Yeah, we have the new one.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I love that one. And then Chris Sertzel has.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is a really good one. Actually, I don't know if I still have that book. I may have given that one to somebody.
I have her first.
I might have given it to you.
Maybe. I have her first and second editions here.
Okay.
So
yeah, I may have given it.
It might be in my library.
Yeah, because I did have a lot of books that because I wasn't doing any dogs, so it's like kind of like, oh, let me get rid of this.
Well,
so I may have given it.
You can always come and
you can always borrow it, right? You can always borrow it. Yes, that's it. Hers is excellent too. I kept the Barbara Bird one.
Yeah.
And the Barbara one goes into a lot of products and you know and how to identify. So that's a good book to have.
Yeah.
If you don't have it.
So,
all right, let's go to the next section. Books every new groomer should consider. And I said
the first
notes,
two for sure.
Yeah, notes or something similar, and then the APC dog book.
Yeah.
Books you revisit repeatedly?
Well, I mean, I go to this all the time. This is my one from Korea. It's mostly pictures, which is nice.
Right.
But it shows all of the clips that are done in their certification process.
But this is all just model dogs, right?
Yeah. But like, this is that's how they start getting certified, is they certify with model dogs and licensed for that.
It's funny how they have it in English clip, but then
yeah,
it's pretty though.
Yeah.
I think
they do a really good job of like the drawings and stuff, making it very structured, which I like. So I use that a lot for working on my model dogs. and teaching the students. And I don't have it in here, but I also have one of my favorite instructors over there he helped open a school, and their books he put together. And when I was there the first year, he actually gave me copies of both books, and I go through those all the time.
Yeah.
So
Well, I don't do dogs anymore, but when I was doing dogs, I would say that I would revisit the notes.
yeah.
Like if I had a breed I don't see very often. Like every now and then I would get I'd get a Scotty on my table, and I bring so few Scotties that it was like, all right, I know how to do the ears, but let me just look.
Yeah, like
Make
double
sure,
check.
like for some reason I'd be like thinking, oh shit, do I shave the outside or the inside? Obviously,
Yeah.
any kind of terriers, because I didn't see a lot
Yeah.
of terriers. So I would always pull the book out and look just to make sure, okay, I haven't done an air nail since school. And plus the school taught us wrong.
Yeah.
Or
they did.
maybe it was the right way then. I don't know. Like I was never doing show. I never really went to a show, so I don't know. But the book that we had in school had patterns that did not match those from the grooming table. So it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So we should be learning beyond social media. So, I think social media is great. You hear other people's perspective, but here's the thing. When you go to the books and read the books yourself, you come up with your own perspective. And to me, I think it's very important that we have our own, we gather the knowledge for ourselves. Then we can hear what other people say and make more informed, and decide well, okay, they interpreted it this way and I agree with them, or they interpreted it that way and I don't agree with them. But I think it's important that you have your own foundation.
Yeah.
Rather than just go by what somebody else is telling you and their interpretation of the information.
Yeah, I agree. I think you need to take all learning avenues, like,
I say that all the time.
social media, you can learn stuff.
Yes.
Books,
don't limit
podcasts,
yourself. Don't limit yourself to one
webinars,
source. Yeah.
actual in-person seminars.
Whether it's a person, whether it's different people or different platforms, yes, not limit yourself.
Yeah.
Soak it in as much as you can.
And even if you don't necessarily agree with something, it's good to listen to what they have to say and then make your decision based off of that. Make your decision from that. Like you could still take in their information. So
okay, so we kind of talked about cat books, cat handling, behavior, senior cat care, coat maintenance. Like I said, I went back to those two reference books from Kim Reisman and Daniel German. The other one, there's a couple. We mentioned Jackson Galaxy. Pam Johnson Bennett is another behaviorist that's put out some books.
That sounds familiar.
That are good. Then I wrote down two because. So one of the first books I ever bought about cats, cat behavior, was called No Naughty Cats. And it's by Deborah Puritan, Pirotin. That was a good one for behavior and multi-cat households. And then another one that I don't have it anymore, was Cats Behaving Badly by Celia Haddon or Hadlin, Haddon or Hadlon. I couldn't quite remember what it was. So I looked it up, but I'm not quite sure if that was the right one. But so those are just some other cat reference books that I would recommend. Coat types. There's now the CFA. So TICA, which is the International Cat Association, has a website. They have, you click all the breeds and learn about the breeds, learn their standards. They do not have a book, physical book, but the information is there. You can find it online. The Cat Fanciers Association, they do have a book, which is very similar to the AKC book. They still only have 43 recognized breeds, but they break them down, each breed, and it also has a breed standard. So, and again, we talked about learning how to read breed standard, but the breed standards are in the CFA book.
Yeah.
And on the TICA website. So those are always good. All right. Let's see. Pet and animal behavior books. So understanding stress signals. So one of the books that I highly recommend is Low Stress Handling, Restraint, and Behavior Modification of Dogs and Cats by Sophia Yin. She has sadly passed away. She's a veterinarian. She has a few books. She has a few DVDs. If you can find them for under $100, they're very expensive. Like finding these books and DVDs. So I only have a few of her items. But she's on my watch list. So anytime something of hers comes up, I'll get an indication or notification so I can look for messing with that.
Sorry.
Just for prices, because her stuff is very, very expensive. But she's good. She does the towel wrap method. She's got a DVD about towel wrapping. That's really
Nice.
good. But yes, low stress handling, restraint, and behavior modification of dogs and cats. Sophia Yin.
Okay.
Let's see. So that, care for handling, breed psychology, senior pets. Okay, books that have an emotional connection with animals. Now, I thought this was fun because I had some books that I read a long, long time ago that kind of, were real early in my career. But I read this book called The Dog Who Rescues Cats. And it's the true story of Ginny, Ginny. She was a terrier mix. And I didn't write down the author. I remember the book. The gentleman adopted her I believe they were in New York. And when he would take her for walks, this dog would somehow find cats and kittens that needed to be helped. Whether they were just sickly or, hungry or injured. And she would and so I don't know how many cats that her and her owner ended up helping, but they wrote a book about it.
Nice.
So it's a really nice feel-good book. And then there was a book called Creature Comforts, and it was also written by a veterinarian, Stephen Kritzik. He is no longer with us. But that was a book I read, and it was just kind of about him and his practice and, some of the animals he took care of. And then the last one I wrote down was My Wild World by Joan Emery. And she used to be one of the caretakers, directors of the San Diego Wildlife. So her book is all about like wild animals.
Yeah.
And she used to be on like Johnny Carson and David Letterman, and she'd bring animals. So yeah. So that was a really good book too.
Yeah.
So those are my emotional connection books.
I'll be honest, I don't.
Okay, that's fine. You're allowed to not have it. I remember reading
Does Larley and me count? Because I bawled through that.
Oh, yeah, that does count. That does count.
And what was that one?
Dog's Purpose?
God. Did you read there was a
I
book.
never read the book.
Oh
I
my
seen
God. The movie
I
was
couldn't
hard.
believe that. 10 seconds into the movie, and I'm like, I mean, it was great.
Yeah.
But, oh my gosh, that one, yeah. What was the one with Sassy Chance?
Oh, Homeward Bound.
Homeward Bound.
Yeah.
Oh, my heart. Benji. I remember seeing Benji at the movies when I was little.
Yeah.
It came out. Sorry.
I liked Where the Red Fern Grows.
Oh, Yeller.
Okay, now we're gonna end up crying. So.
I read a book when I was in elementary school. I was sick. Like I missed like three weeks of school. I had pneumonia, walking pneumonia, bronchitis. I just remember I missed a lot of school, and I was doing all my homework at home. I was doing all my schoolwork at home. But I read a book called Follow Your Leader, and it was a book about a kid who had a firecracker go off in his face and ended up blinding him. And so he had to get a seeing eye dog. So the story is about the dog. And so that was one that resonated with me. In fact, I think I found it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I have it now, as I found it at a used bookstore or something and bought it. Like probably never gonna read it again. But the fact that I read it and it left me in a place that, so I had that book. So anytime I remember checking out a book from the library in elementary school, and I must have checked that book out a dozen times in my 5 years at that school. And I can't remember what it was called. I just remember that somewhere in the book it showed puppies being born, and that just fascinated me.
Yeah.
And I kept checking that book out, and I don't think I ever really read the book, but I just remember that I always would check it out because it was like that whole section about the puppies being born. It was like, I was so intrigued by that.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So how does understanding behavior improve grooming safety? Seems like you just answered the question with that.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It just.
Yeah. I mean, You can prevent accidents. You can keep the dog a lot calmer.
Yes, calm. Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing is being able to get our jobs done safely. Any books that change the way you approach difficult pets?
There was one by Temple Grandin where it was kind of like talking about her life. I think it was kind of a biography
Okay.
or autobiography, but she talked a lot about how she learned to understand the animals that she was working with. And she would, get down on get down into the little tunnels and figure out what was wrong. And just the way she talked about it, it made me realize like I have to really think more about why the dogs are acting the way they are. Because that's what she was doing. Like she was talking about how they were doing like a dip thing for all the cattle where they have to go into this like hit from fluid. I think it's for some sort of insect removal.
Okay.
But they go through like this little like tunnel thing one at a time. And then they would have to jump down into the water, swim through it, and then like come back up the other side. And the cows were like,
They didn't want to.
yeah, they would stop or whatever, which anytime anytime one of the cows would like, even slow down, it threw off the whole thing because it's a lot of cattle all at once.
Right.
So she like created the way that they put it together so that they would go through with no problem. And it was, the jumping into the water was a problem and like certain things about the way that it like the run was set up so that it would like they were catching like a thing like and it wasn't anything that was like made they would like catch like a little like thing and it wouldn't cause any problem but it didn't feel good,
right?
Or like there was one where she's like they were going through it and like the way the sun hit it at a certain time of day like scared the crap out of the cows, and it just that really got me starting to like look at why they do the things they do instead of how do I fix it.
Right.
Because I think you really need to know why.
You have to know why before you can fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I agree. Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
It just reminded me, you were talking, and it reminded me, I remember watching this video I've been watching a lot of the videos of the people behaving like animals and, stuff like that because they're freaking hilarious. There's one I just found and he's a trainer.
I think I've been watching the same one.
So funny. But anyways, there's a few. We'll talk about them another time.
But did you see the old dog one?
Maybe I have. I don't. Off the top of my head, I don't.
He has like an old guy help him. And,
his dad.
Yeah.
His dad helps him. He takes him for a walk. Yeah, he's looking around. He's way over in the. Yes, I did. I did watch that. Yes,
I saw it and I was like, oh my god, it's Nibbler. And then he starts peeing on the car.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, oh, he's so like incontinent. And the dog's like, hey, incontinent.
Yeah, I jerk. Rolling. Yes, I did see that one. No, what I'm thinking about is it was a horse. And it wasn't a person, it was the horse. But they narrate it and, the person's like talking like she's the horse. I'm like, Mom, what's that? There's something scary or something. Oh my God, what is it? And it's like a rabbit.
Oh, I've seen that one too.
By the horses of a rabbit. But, those are the things like, you have to try to get into the mind of the animal if you really want to help the animal.
Yeah, because you got to understand what the problem is.
Right. Like with cats, they're not. See, this is the thing. When I started grooming cats, I had this idea of, well, that's an aggressive cat. Well, that's a stressed cat. Yes, sometimes they behave aggressively because they're stressed, right? And, or it's fear or it's pain. And it's like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And trying to get to that, to actually get to the cause so that you can figure out how to go forward.
Yep.
Let's see. All right, let's go to the next section. Okay. So this one is about business and groomer life books. I only have one book written here, but we'll talk about each of them. So, books, and I'm just going to read this full list and then we could talk about them.
Okay.
So pricing, boundaries, burnout, communication, leadership, confidence, and running a salon. Do you have any books that have helped you with those things?
So
all of those things.
It's not like a grooming business one, but I've been listening to one It's called The Mom Test.
The Mom Test.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's called The Mom Test, How to Talk to Customers and Learn If Your Business is a Good Idea When Everyone is Lying to You. And The Mom Test is a quick, practical guide that will save you time, money, and heartbreak. They say you shouldn't ask your mom whether your business is a good idea because she loves you and will lie to you. This is technically true, but it misses the point. You shouldn't ask anyone if your business is a good idea. It's a bad question, and everyone will lie to you at least a little. As a matter of fact, it's not their responsibility to tell you the truth. It's your responsibility to find it, and it's worth doing right. And so, like, the whole thing is how to talk to people to get their true answer about, like, your business stuff.
Okay.
And it mostly is talking about, like, if you're trying to start a business and you're trying to get an idea of if it's a good business idea, but there's a lot of stuff in it that really helped me with, like, I'm like, oh, like, that would make more sense to say with a client
Yeah.
or this situation. So I really liked that. And it's a short one too.
Okay, good. I
So,
love short.
Yeah.
I discovered that long ago that if the book is too long, I'm probably not going to read it.
Yep.
So the one that I wrote down it's an older book, and I know it's out of print, and it's another one that might be hard to find,
Mhm.
and I don't know if you can find it for very cheap anymore. But I like it. I still have a copy. Actually, I had a copy. I think that this is the third copy I've had of this book because for some reason I give my shit away, and then
And then you're like,
I
oh.
don't have it, and then I really I want that book for just because I want it because it did help me. But it's called From Problems to Profits.
Yeah.
So it's a grooming book. It's for the grooming salon, and there's some stuff in it that's like take it or leave it.
Mhm.
It's one of those things. But I created an employee manual from that book. I think I copied pretty much that
Exactly
employee
what they said,
manual.
yeah.
Just about. I think I changed a few things that worked for me, but I used their templates when I was managing the salon at Have a Heart. I made a employee manual. I had the job descriptors, and I had the evaluation forms. All came out of that book.
Yeah.
So I think that's a pretty decent book. It's older, like I said, it's an older book, and there's probably you can find a lot of stuff now online.
Yeah.
I guess to me, like, I can buy forms from anybody, right? Everybody sells forms. I do even have. I don't know if I give away I give away my waivers all the time. People, well, who has a waiver? I'm like, oh, fine,
Yeah.
change the names and do whatever you want. It's not done by an attorney, so I don't know how much it's going to stand up in court if it goes there, but it's something. And I've never had an issue. But I like that, this book forced me to do it myself and not just buy somebody else's, and so I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so any books that helped you emotionally, not just financially? The Mom Test might be a good one.
Yeah.
Nothing off the top of my head. Protecting Your Body and Energy, or moving from, and again, books that might have been like moving from survival to sustainability. Nothing off the top of my head stands out, but I do think that a lot of these things, like I think like the survival to sustainability, I probably learned more just being in groups, and talking to other groomers at seminars and stuff.
Yeah.
And kind of, and what I like is when you talk to somebody and you find out when they can be vulnerable and admit, one of their flaws or shortcomings, maybe not a flaw, but a shortcoming, I love that because then it's like, oh, good, you're human.
Yeah.
And because I made that same mistake, or, I struggle with that too. So I need to feel like I'm not alone in my struggles. So it's very important to me when others, especially people that I look up to, can, own their own mistakes and admit that, this is not something I breed at. So that, I think I learned more of that in the real world than not so much in the book.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. Witchcraft and spiritual books. This is the next item. All right. Okay. So beginner-friendly witchcraft books.
So beginner-friendly witchcraft books. I don't know if I necessarily have any of those. I have a bunch up there I've never read.
So I have two, and one we've looked at them both here, but one is called the All-in-One Complete Book of Shadows, which I just bought recently. I think that's a really good beginner friendly, just kind of little explanation of a bunch of things. And then this one, I really like this one, Make Your Own Magic by Amanda Lovelace. And I actually read this one cover to cover. And this is one of those where it inspired me, or it told me it was okay,
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of books that will say, it's okay to do your own thing. You don't have to do this. But I felt like this one was just
It's the one that clicked.
it's the one that clicked, that really clicked. So I really like, and this is a new one. This is a fairly well.
Yeah. I do have up there Witchcraft for Dummies, which I did not read all of it.
Yeah,
But what I did read, I really did like.
because you're a dummy. Yeah, this is first edition with 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, Witchcraft for Dummies. I think I've seen that one. I don't think I ever. I don't own it, but I paged through that one like at bookstores.
A lot of my books I got from people. So
Yeah, yeah. I find a lot of my books at used bookstores too.
yeah.
Or if I'm in like different witchy groups and people will start mentioning books, I'll write them down and then I'll go look at them. Or they'll mention an author and I'll write it down and then I'll go look and then I have a list and 2 different book notes that just got a bunch of books. So every now and then, like if I'm at a bookstore and I see something, I'll look, is that on my list?
Yeah.
So the very first book I ever owned on witchcraft was called Wicca, A Guide to the Solitary Practitioner by Scott.
I have that one too.
Yeah, I think you do. I think I noticed that. So that's the first book I ever bought on witchcraft. And I read it. And I don't identify as Wiccan at all. But it was a good book and there was a lot of stuff in it that, that I liked.
Yeah.
But I bought it because it was it said for solitary practitioner. And I knew, especially at that time, I had really no interest in trying to I wanted to learn myself before okay, now I'm going to go do shit. Let's dance under the moon, which I've never, ever done. But
I'd be down.
down, only naked. If we're not going to be naked, I'm not doing it. So that was my very first. Do you remember what was your first witchy book you ever bought?
This one.
Magical Herbs.
Yep. The Modern Witchcraft Guide to Magical Herbs by Judy and yeah, it has a lot of different herbs that are used and it breaks it into different categories, which is kind of cool. I also really like the paper texture for some reason.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I love when the edges are.
Yeah.
Just makes it feel. Like handmade.
Yeah.
Even though it's not, but I get it.
Yeah. So it has it talks about like growing it and using it, but it also breaks down 100 different herbs into different groups and it goes through what they do and what they stand for and all of that. So you can get there's botanicals and beauty. So you can, herbal spells and charms to make you glow.
I have some books that have herb stuff in them, but that's just not my forte. I know it's yours. Yeah, I know it's yours. You forage and everything, which I think is awesome. It's just not something that I've gotten into, but I like that. I appreciate it. And see, now a book like that, for me to even be interested in looking at it, it would have to be a little book. That would have to be a short, because I know herbalism isn't something that I'm really drawn to. I have a little interest in it, but it's not something that I'm really drawn to. So it would have to be a little short, quick read.
Yeah.
I know there are
quite a few of those small ones.
Yeah.
And then there's more encyclopedia type thing.
Oh, yes.
But I don't usually read those ones. It's just, those are ones where I'm okay, I want to look up this plant.
Yeah.
And I look it up. I don't read through the entire book.
No, there is I have some of her books that she has a lot of. Okay. Actually, there's two authors that might be worth looking at if you're looking for little.
You're okay.
Just want to see. Okay, it's Mary Silva, Silva.
Okay.
So she's got a lot of their little books and on all kinds of topics, like the Wheel of the Year and different things. And then the other author is the ones that are. You might have
next to the Morgan.
You might have I can't see which ones you're talking about.
It's like next to the one gnome with the black.
Those little books.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then there's also Lisa Chamberlain,
Okay.
and she also has a lot of those little pocket size, not really pocket size, but they're just really quick reads.
Yeah.
These, these. I think this is the same author. This is
And there's
this is from
there's some a
Llewellyn.
little bit over too.
Yeah, no, this is Llewellyn's.
Okay.
So they're good. No, this is so these are different authors.
Okay.
Sterling Ethos. They're different. I think that's Sterling Ethos. I think it's the publisher.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are different.
But yeah, just like
But
little
yes, but
small
the same,
books like
right,
that.
but the same general idea. They're just a small, quick read, just focusing on one subject.
Yeah, and those are really good to kind of just get you a little taste of
That,
it.
and that's how I feel.
So-
Like, gives me a taste because I don't know that I necessarily want to dive into herbalism, but I like the idea of knowing what things do. Like, what's the magical property of this and what can I use this for?
Yeah.
The tarot resource, I have the one I wrote down was Intuitive Tarot by Bridget Esselnut, which is a nice, easy kind of book to look at. I think a lot of books like this book has a tarot section. Obviously, if you buy a tarot deck, they come with a book called that deck, but it explains each card.
I don't really have any tarot books that I do because I do the oracle.
Right, you prefer the oracle.
Oracle, it's always in
the books.
So the books that come with the cards.
Right,
So
exactly. So, but that one, Intuitive Tarot, was one that I picked up that I like. I have a few tarot books because I really wanted to get into tarot, but that was the one that I kind of liked the most.
Yeah.
Like I said, this one's good. What I like about this book, when it talks about tarot, so it goes through each deck and it breaks down for me. Like King of Pentacles. This is supposed to focus on me. It's the steadfast success who makes sure everyone around them has what they need. That's upright. And then reverse would be someone who's free. So it's just a very, very basic Five of Swords. You may have won the debate, but you lost a lot of respect in the process. And then the verse would be put aside your ego and fix what you broke. So it's more about if I'm pulling these cards for myself, what am I doing? Do you have any books on moon work?
I have some. I haven't really read them.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Me
Most
too.
of the stuff that I've got on moon stuff is from apps.
Yep, from the apps. Yep, I agree. I haven't delved into the moons or planets astrology. But again, those little books that I mentioned, and I know that those are just two authors that I found, and I have a few of their little books in my Kindle, is that Mary Silva and Lisa Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Like little books on all those subjects, magic, sun magic.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not super into like the moon stuff.
I like to pay attention to the moon phases, especially, but I don't think about it much unless I'm having an off day.
Yeah.
And then it's like, why am I so blah today? And then I'll look at the moon and be like,
maybe that's why.
okay, yeah, that could be it. But it's not something that I always want to go out and look at the moon, and I always sleep up.
Yeah.
I go to bed and then I think, I should go out and look at the moon, and then I don't.
Yeah.
We have now, prior to this, when we're recording this, we're coming up to the strawberry full moon.
Yeah.
So that's the month to be.
Okay.
So I might, because the kids are here, I might try to stay awake to go and look at that with them. So.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
All right, herbalism. You shared that book.
I got that one. This one's a fun one. It's called Wicked Plants by Amy Stewart. And it's the weed that killed Lincoln's mother and other botanical atrocities. And so it talks about all these different herbs
that
are poisonous and like
how to use them.
Well, like, and how they've been used in the past, and like, they have like they separated it into like categories. So like there's a category of what's illegal to have and like what's intoxicating and what's deadly. So yeah, it's all of these like.
Sounds fun. Can we send a gift?
But I really like it. I just find it very interesting, and like I learned quite a bit about plants that I didn't know were poisonous. Like, I didn't know until I read this that you can't eat fresh elderberry.
Okay.
Do you know?
I wouldn't even know what elderberry is.
So elderberries, they're berries. I actually have a bush back there. And people use it. They're great for the immune system. But if you eat them raw, they have cyanide. But if you cook them,
Don't cherry pits have cyanide?
I think so. But if you cook, if you cook the berries, it cooks off of the cyanide, and then
They're safe.
they're safe.
And this is my shout out to science. Like, how did they figure that out?
Yeah.
Like, how many people die before they figured out?
Well, and like
don't eat it, or let's cook it and see what happens.
Especially like if you think about it, there wasn't like when they did that kind of stuff, it wasn't science like we have it today.
No,
it's
no,
like,
no.
well, let's see what happens.
Right. It was literally like feed it to this animal or this person, and
yeah. But yeah, I learned a lot about just different, because a lot of these plants that are in here, they're plants that I see all the time. There's elderberry all over the area here.
Yeah.
There is, like in here, they have the stinging nettle all over the place. There's stinging nettle. What was the other one? Deadly nightshade. That shit grows rampant here.
Yeah.
Most people don't know that because they don't care to find out what that berry is that they see in the woods. But there's a lot of these things.
I won't eat anything if it's like growing, unless I know
exactly.
We used to have a mulberry tree.
Yeah.
I know mulberry trees. We've had mulberry trees, so I would pull eat those right off the tree. But like, there's a lot of berries I see, and it's like, I don't know what that is. I can't. I'm not eating that.
Yeah. And I look at them and go, I wonder if I could eat that. And then I do a bunch of research to find out.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I think I can eat that.
Yeah. But I just thought this was a really cool one because it has so many different things that we just see all the time.
What's it called again?
It's called Wicked Plants. So,
cool. All right.
Yeah.
Anything on energy awareness?
I do have this one. Is The Natural Psychic by Ellen Dugan, I think is how you pronounce her name.
Okay.
And it talks about psychic abilities, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
So
my recommendation is Chakras for Beginners.
That's a good one.
By Polly Nara. I have that physical book, that Kindle book, I have that audio book. I really like that book.
Yeah.
Okay. I found that one to be a really, really good book to learn chakras and how to fix them, and I wish I did it more.
Yeah.
Any books on grounding and protection or intuition and self-trust? There's so many.
Like specifically.
Yeah, there's so many that touch on that.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's no right way to be spiritual. Let's see. Which books? We're still talking about witchy books. Which book felt welcoming to you?
Honestly, the Wicked Plants one.
Okay.
The way that it's written, it's very like talking to a friend.
Okay.
So I really like that one.
Mine it's called The Heart of Wicca. Again, I think because when I first started down this path, I've seen a lot of stuff about Wicca.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of picked up on that. And it was only after I like really kind of read into it that I learned that that's really more of a religion.
Yeah.
And I'm not really looking for the religion part of it.
I think a lot of people, when they first start getting into it, they usually do some research into Wicca.
Yeah.
Wicca.
One of those books.
I think I was using it as a bookmark.
Okay.
I find random things to use as bookmarks.
So mostly receipts.
Yeah.
So it's called The Heart of Wicca, and it's by Ellen Cannon Reed.
Yeah.
And that was a book that I read that and see, I wish I could remember, because I think the first time I read it was on Kindle, and then but I also have it in book, in real life in the book. But I think when I was reading it on Kindle, I highlighted spots of it that really stood out to me. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff in that book that I really connected with.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Sometimes a book doesn't teach you something new. It reminds you of something you already.
Yep.
And yeah, and that's, I think, like this book. I like it, this Make Your Own Magic, because I'd already heard you can do your own thing. You don't have to follow them.
They just have to say it right.
But they just had to say it in a way that was like, you know what? Why am I trying so hard to fit into, this category?
Yeah.
So, all right. Next last segment is about reading as self-care. So let's see, reading can slow down the nervous system, reading outside of grooming, inspiration versus comparison, protecting creativity, and reconnecting with passion. That part got to me because, like I said, I used to read a lot when I was a kid. In high school, I read so much.
Yeah, I was a huge reader.
Yeah, and then I think I got married, and had kids, and I just didn't have time. So I remember, when I first opened my salon, I remember being at Barnes and Noble. I think I was buying something specific. I can't remember, but they have those tables in the front. They're like $5 books. I seen a book there, and I was drawn to the very colorful cover, and it was kind of a Florida kind of, and I think we had just did we just come back from Florida? We'd gone to Disney World, I think, for the first time we'd gone to Disney World. And anyways, so I don't know. So I was having kind of this love affair with that whole, like, I remember buying like Jimmy Buffett, a couple of his books.
Yeah.
But I found this book, and I can't remember which one it was. I can't remember what it was called, but I bought it. And the author is Tim Dorsey, Dorsey. And it's a funny book, but it's like a dark funny book. And it's actually a series. Like, he's got a whole, I don't even know how many books this man has put out with the same characters.
Yeah.
But it's about a guy, his name is Storms. He's a serial killer.
Really?
But he's not really a bad serial killer. But he is and he isn't. He's not Dexter. Like, he's not going after criminals, but he is going after shitty people.
Okay.
Like, I remember in one of his books, because then I read a bunch of his books.
Mhm.
And but I remember reading one of his books where, he killed a couple because they were standing on a reef, which don't stand on the fucking reef.
Yeah.
And so he loves Florida, he loves his home, and he cares about it, and he hates shitty people. And so, yeah, so this book, I
I'm
read
on
it.
board with this one.
I read it, and it was so funny. And then I was like, oh, I got my idea. And then I was like, oh, this is like book 3, or I don't know what it was, but it was like, there was other books. So from the same author. So then I went out and I found a couple more. And so for a while, I read so many, I read a lot of his books.
Yeah.
I know I haven't read them all, but I read a lot of his books. And so that was kind of a comfort.
Yeah.
Because it was like, and I've had a few authors that have brought me, comfort. There's another author, Rita Mae Brown, and she does a lot of mysteries. She's got a whole series of Sneaky Pie. Brown as a cat, and then she's got another series with a dog. I don't really like mystery books,
Yeah.
so I've never read the mystery books. But I happened to be in a book club years ago where I received a book, and it was one of hers that wasn't part of a well, I should take that back. There was like a couple books in the series, but it was like totally away from her mystery books. And I think it was called 6 to 1. And I just fell in love with those characters. So then I was buying a bunch of her books and trying to read her books. And then so she was personal friends with Fannie Flagg, who from Fried Green Tomatoes.
Yep.
So I read a couple of Fannie Flagg's books. I've gone through spurts like that where I find a book that I really like, and like when I was in middle school, you're my child's age. When I was in middle school, everybody was reading DC books, and it's funny, I'm in a Gen X group on Facebook, and it's kind of like, they're so fucking inappropriate. Yeah. Those books were so inappropriate for us at that age that we were reading them. And our parents didn't know, care, whatever. My mom was reading them too.
Like, when I was in high school, it was Animorphs.
Yeah.
And I recently started a few years ago, I reread all of the books because I had read them back in high school.
Yeah.
I didn't remember, or middle school.
Right.
And I'm like going back through them, and I'm like, hey, let me read this in middle school. Like, this is like what in the first book, one of the kids gets turned into a bird forever. Like, that's his fate for the rest of his life.
That is so tame. PC Anderson is writing about incest.
Oh God.
Like, straight up incest. And we were all in it. We were all for it. I mean, we're all there for it. Yeah.
I guess that's
Every
kind
one
of
of her books. And then she died, right? She died. So then there were ghostwriters and then just followed that same, it was just all incest.
Ugh.
All incestuous.
It's like
shit.
Game of Thrones.
But yeah, it was like, wow. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, we read those books. Flowers in the Attic.
Mhm.
You've seen the movie, baby?
Yep.
Yeah. Read that book. Read that book and all the books that came after it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
lots of, but I was reading.
yeah,
I was,
I read a lot when I was younger. I've learned nowadays that it was a form of escapism.
it is. Absolutely.
And I was definitely escaping. But yeah, like I always read when I was younger. And then when I got older, I literally just didn't have the energy because it's actually hard for me to read a book because of my dyslexia.
Yeah.
So I can read it. It just takes time.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why I like audio. So I can get through it quicker. But I have two authors that are always very comforting for me. One of them, his name is Neil Schusterman.
Okay.
And both of these I've like listened to every single one of their books, and they have like series and stuff like that. But I mostly started reading. He has one called Scythe, and it's part of a whole series called The Arc of Scythe. But basically, they start this thing where teens who are like not behaving, they send them off to a camp to have them, I don't remember what the word was, that they were unwound. And it basically like it removes their like soul basically, and then takes each part of their body and like it gets sent to use on other people who need parts. And it's a young adult books.
Yeah.
So that was a really cool one. And then he also had one where I don't remember what it was, but there was another one. And the thing that I remember most in that one is one of the characters was gender fluid. It was the first time I had really learned about gender fluid.
Yeah.
And they explained it so well. Like they would, it would be brought up like, are you male or female? And the character would say, well, I'm masculine on land and I'm feminine in the, on sea or in the sea or whatever. And it was just very like the way they explained it, I was just like, that makes sense. Like it really helped to explain that one. I can't remember. He has a lot of books.
What's the author? Let me just write that.
Neil Schusterman. But yeah, he has a lot of really great books. There's one that was just a single book called Roxy, and it was basically drugs, but like humanized. So like they had the different drugs had personality, and it was kind of dark, but also kind of very interesting because it was like it humanized the drugs so that you could kind of see what it was without.
What's that one?
That one's called Roxy. But yeah, I would suggest pretty much any of his stuff. And then the other one that I really like, her name is Molly Harper, and she does a lot of supernatural romances, basically.
Okay.
It's more like campy kind of stuff, not like super hardcore, but it's, witches and mostly witches, but she also has some where it's like, there's one that's Nice Girls Don't Have Fangs, or How to Date Your Dragon. Even tree nymphs get the blues.
I think I've seen her books.
Yeah, they're really good. And she has two different series that I listened to. There was one where the lead character turned into a vampire in a town that just filled with vampires, and she learns how to live as a vampire, basically. And they're like the vegetarian kind. They don't eat it. They don't take it directly from a living being. Okay. They get donations.
Yeah.
And then they had one where it was a town, like this small town that this person went to. They were a detective. They went to go live there to check out some sort of conspiracy that was happening, and turned out everyone was supernatural. So like there was dragons and like all sorts of other kind of supernatural people, but they like take human form, when they're out and about, but then like they can turn into dragons or into whatever those things are that go in the water. I don't remember. But I like that one a lot. And she covers, no, there's another one.
Okay.
But she covers a lot of different kind of
Yeah.
mythology too, which is
Okay.
cool. But they're a little more campy, kind of like comedic.
Yeah.
Though there was one with some pretty intense dragon sex. Warning.
Don't worry me.
I only really even thought about it because of the fact that I was listening to it while I was mobile grooming.
Kind of like when you listen to Chapel Rowan.
Yeah.
What did you just say?
So I was listening.
I was listening to her upstairs. I had my Bose speaker on, and I was just running around the house cleaning the house. And I had my phone with me because it's connected to my phone. And I had the windows open because it was still cool out, and I like cleaning the house. And I think this was before the kids came for the funeral. And was it casual? I think casual came on. And I could hear, I was like, oh, I should probably skip that. Like, my windows are white. There's kids outside.
They probably heard it.
Yeah, so she's got some songs. It's probably not appropriate to me. I remember the first time I was listening to it, my dad was home. And it came on, I'm like, I don't want to hear this.
There was one time when I was reading the dragon sex, and it was the dragon sex scene that I was listening to. And I had it on my headphones while I was working on the dog. That was fine. But then I was finished with the dog. I turned it off and I took the dog back in the car, or got in the van, turned it on, and it popped. I had it on my Bluetooth. It popped up on the Bluetooth on the van, which normally would have been fine, except for just as it turned on, the male owner came out and knocked down my window, and I was like trying to turn it down, but like he could hear the whole thing. And it was like in the most graphic part of the dragon sex. Like the dragon was half human and half dragon with his, it was just, and I was just like, I'm sorry.
I had a customer come in one time to pick up a cat or to do a nail. I think it was a nail trim. And I was clicking through to watch something, and it must have been HBO because it started Game of Thrones. I think it was Game of Thrones. And I don't know what season it was or what, but like one of the very first scenes, like it started playing. Like I thought I paused it. And I was just clicking through. I wasn't going to watch it. I was clicking through to find something to watch. You know how it'll stop on the episode, and you keep going to each episode or show, whatever it is. While I thought I had paused the whole thing, I actually clicked it to start. And of course, it started right with the fucking sex scene. Because you know how that show is. And I was like, I'm so sorry. That was not what I meant to do. And I just shut the TV off. And he didn't say anything, but I was like, you're watching porn. One last question before we finish. When was the last time a book truly inspired? You remember when or what the book was?
The one that I'm working on now is very inspiring.
That's that Korean?
Yeah, the Korean one. It might take me the rest of my life to read the whole thing, but it is very inspiring.
I think for me, it's probably the last one I read that I found inspiring was the Cat Method, the most recent one that I've read by Mercedes, only because there was a lot of stuff in it that, like I said, I kind of connected with on an emotional and a mental level.
Yeah.
But I like she breaks down, she's created this, she created it, I guess. The CAT method, so CAT is compassion, approach, technique, which I like. Like it's like, that's like the essence of grooming a cat is, having the compassion, knowing how to approach him, and then having the skill and the technique to do it.
Yeah.
All right, crystal for the episode is fluorite. What's funny is I was going to bring my fluorite. Totally forgot it. Because I have a nice big fluorite crystal. Why it fits. It's associated with focus, clarity, learning, and mental organization. Excellent for study, absorbing information, and reducing overwhelm. Helpful for groomers balancing creativity with technical skill.
Yeah.
All right. Oracle poll.
All right. So this time we got reveal. May openness lead you to connection. There is risk in exposing the raw, tender truth of yourself to the vastness of the water. In daring to face the unknown, the fear of shame, disappointment, and loss. But this bold integrity and glorious vulnerability nurture courage and connection. May you allow transparency. May you find a trusted listener to hold your truths. May you find strength in vulnerability. May you shed the layers that no longer serve you. I uncover what was hidden. So,
I think that fits well with books.
yeah.
I definitely think that fits well with books.
Yeah.
That first line, what was the first line you read?
It was, may openness lead you to connection, or there is
Yeah.
risk in exposing the raw, tender truth of yourself.
No, they openness lead you to connection. I think that's, yeah, I think that definitely fits with books.
Yeah.
Being open to connect and like it. All right. So, let me just double check real, because I checked it a couple of days ago, but I didn't check it today, this morning. Let me just see. Okay. Yeah, kind of why it's not, unfortunately. Nobody is really connecting with us in these groups. And I don't know, how much, how many people are listening. I hope
There's a
more
few.
people that are, I hope people are listening, but nobody's interacting on Facebook. So I wanted to see if anybody had any books that they wanted to share. So yeah, again, we're inviting you to share your favorite books, whether they're grooming or witchy or just general. What do you like to listen to?
Yeah.
All right. So as above, so below, may your pets be clean and your spirits glow.